Good morning or afternoon, everyone. My name is Jeremy Walsh, and I'm the Director of Support, Training, and Documentation for BNI Connect. I would like to welcome everybody to the webinar today. Today's webinar is part of a month-long series of member webinars that show you all the different parts of BNI Connect. Today is the first part of the series called BNI Connect Step 1, Complete Your Profile. And what we're going to be talking about today is really the BNI Connect profile, where it shows up, so on the public websites as well as on the inside of BNI Connect, all the different aspects of the profile, and some tips and tricks on best procedures and best practices for what to put where on your profile. A couple of housekeeping things before we get started, and that is that this is a live webinar. If you have any questions whatsoever as we're going through the content today, please do feel free to ask those questions. I'll be able to respond to those in real time. The best way to ask your questions is to please type your questions into the questions panel. I see those pop up on my screen, and as I said, I can respond to them as we're going through the content today. Now, today's content, we're scheduled for approximately a half hour worth of material. I like to make sure that we keep these nice and short and sweet so that people that need to get right back to business can go ahead and do so. That being said, I am happy to stay on these webinars as long as people have questions. So do feel free to ask as many questions as you want to. Even if we go over the half hour mark, I will stick around and answer them all. We are also recording this webinar. All of our webinars are recorded, and they are made available in a couple of different places. The first of which is going to be on the support site. Now, you can get to the support site by clicking on this question mark here in BNI Connect. Clicking on that question mark will bring you over to the support site. You'll see our list of monthly webinars here, so our entire April lineup is showing. And if you scroll down just a little bit to chapter training and documentation, you will see recorded webinars. So all of our webinars, we have them set up here month by month by month, and the archive for March is listed. You can go back to any of the webinars from last month and review them. And pretty soon you will see an April 2015 article in there that has all of the webinars. You can also go directly to our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/BNI Connect Global. And you can watch them all up here as well. So we have a ton of material up here on our YouTube channel. So some special announcements from Dr. Meisner, as well as educational moments, and again, our entire series of webinars. So please do check us out and join us up on the YouTube channel. If you subscribe, you'll also be notified whenever we upload a new recording. All right, so let's take a look at today's content. So your BNI Connect profile. Dr. Meisner has often said that not filling out your profile is kind of like taking out an ad in the newspaper and leaving it completely blank. And while we can't guarantee that you will get any more business just by having your profile filled out, we can pretty much guarantee that if you don't have it filled out, that you won't get any more business. And one of the reasons for this is that it's really about the VCP. So it's about visibility plus credibility equals profitability. When people are looking through BNI Connect as they're doing more and more and more every single day, in order to find people to do business with, one of their first indications of whether or not they would like to do business with you will be how they view you on your profile. Are you even visible? Can we see your picture? Can we see your logo? Can we see your website? Are you building credibility through that profile? By clicking through to your social media links, by looking at your testimonials that you've received, by looking at your description of your business, are you building credibility with those things? Now, your profile is available in multiple places. Here in the United States, it's going to be available in at least 3 places, the first of which is our national website. So we do have a national BNI website. If you go to bniamerica.com, every single person in the United States has a profile that's available here, unless you've chosen to opt out. But if I go, for example, to find a member, and I do a search, I'm just going to do a search for my own name. Now, of course, you can search by categories and things like that, but I'm just going to search for my name. And here I am. I'm the only Jeremy Walsh in the United States. I am a member of the Wakefield chapter, have been since 2002. And here we can see my profile. So here's my business description. Note that I even put a video within my business description as well. All my social media links on the left-hand side, my picture, all my phone numbers, my website. There's a way to send me a message right from here. There's also my ideal referral and top product, top problem. So all the different ways that people might be able to refer to me are all listed here on my profile. And this is available 24/7, 365. It's free as part of my membership in BNI, this online profile through BNI America. Now, this is also available on the regional website. So every region in BNI, I happen to be part of the BNI Rhode Island region. So if I go to bniri.com, my profile is going to be available here as well. And if I go and let's say, go to find a member again, and I go to look for myself, Jeremy Walsh, click search, and here I am again, Jeremy Walsh. Now, this is a completely different website with a different URL, so this is a second point of presence, and you'll notice that this is the same as it is on the other one. So it's the same bit of information. So all I need to do is update it once, and it's going to populate the information in multiple places. Now, the final place is on the chapter website. And if I go to, let's say, find a chapter here, I'm going to do a list of chapters. My chapter is the Wakefield chapter. So if I go to BNI Wakefield, I'm going to be listed here. But then we also have a chapter website, and every chapter has their own website here in BNI. And here's our chapter website, and I have my BNI chapter members page. And again, my profile is going to be listed here as well. Again, same profile, unique URL. So it's another point of presence. Now, what does this look like to people on the internet when a member doesn't fill this out? Well, let's take a look. I'm going to go to, so I don't throw anybody under the bus here, I have a test region. It's called BNI Antarctica. So we have the Antarctic referrals. And let's say that I'm somebody out there and I'm just browsing the internet. I want to go visit a chapter. I take a look and, oh, well, let's see. The BNI Burr chapter looks pretty good. Let's take a look at some of these people up here. Oh, Marky Mark is in this group, and Roger Dodger. Let's take a look at Marky Mark's profile. And wow, Marky Mark doesn't really have much filled out. So, I mean, we do have the name of his company, the Funky Bunch, and we can see that he is in the Burr chapter. It does have an address, but there's really no credibility building information here. There's not much of a profile filled out. So that makes it difficult to really refer to this person or even to get in touch with this person. Now, let's look at the inside of BNI Connect. So if I go to BNI Connect and I log in, this is my home screen in BNI Connect. Now, if you want to see what your profile looks like on the inside of BNI Connect, you can do a search for yourself here as well. Or down at the bottom, you'll see in the red footer on the screen, there's a button that says Profile. So if I click this button that says Profile, I will see what my profile looks like. Now, the profile on the inside of BNI Connect, once you log in, is a little bit more extensive than the profile that's on the public websites. And the reason for this is that we can display more information because it's in a logged-in only portion. But here it shows all of my different roles in the system. It then, again, has my name and the same information that I was showing on the outside of BNI Connect on the public sites, including the video, but it also shows me my keywords. So it lets other people know what the keywords are of things that I can do, along with my logo, a whole bunch of different phone numbers on the logged in portion. You can choose to display your email address if you want to, or you can choose to hide that. And finally, all my social media networking links. Now, it doesn't stop there. On the internal profile, you also have all these tabs along the top of what people can look at. So there's my bio tab that has my weekly presentations. So I can share weekly presentations with people that may never visit my chapter. my gains profile, and my tops profile. Note that the tops profile is the same one that shows up on the public websites as well. But we also have all of my connections, so you can actually look at all the people that I'm connected to. If there's somebody here that you would also like to connect to, you can always click on their name, and that will bring you over to their profile, and you can send them a connection request. There's also the testimonials, so you can read all of the testimonials that people have left for me. Again, a huge credibility builder. There is a photo sharing library as well, so you can share up to 20 photos with people. They could be things like having to do with your industry, pictures of your family if you'd like to, or even you could scan in testimonials from clients and post them in there as well. So those are all ideas for the photo gallery. People can see what groups you're participating in, and they can even click through if they would like to join them as well. And finally, the training history. Again, another credibility builder when people see how much training you've taken. So how do we update all of this information here on our profile? Updating the information is pretty easy. If you're on your profile, you can click here, update my profile, or you can go back to the home screen. And in this bar along the top, you can click on Update Profile My BNI page. You can also click on Options, My Account. All of these will take you to the same exact place. You'll notice that your profile is also scheduled for is also broken apart into different tabs along the top. So we have our main profile tab, we have our user profile tab, we have our contact details tab, our account settings tab, our bio tab. If you are a director, there's a director profile tab, and finally your training history. So let's take a look at each of these and see what you can do. On this first one, this is your main profile. Now this is going to have some basic things about your name and business description, things like that. Keep in mind that your name and your business name, you may need to have those adjusted by someone in your regional office. And part of this is for legal reasons, that we do need to make sure that the paperwork at the regional office matches what is in your record here in BNI Connect. So therefore your name and your company name may be locked down to editing. But if it is, all you need to do is send in a request and they will be able to change that for you. Now, registered tax office and VAT reference number, both of these are really only needed in certain countries. For example, Canada, you need to put your registered tax office in, and some other countries, the VAT is a value-added tax. So it's kind of like your tax ID number here if you're in the United States. Now, we don't need to worry about that in the United States, and most other countries don't, but if your country does, then make sure that those are filled out and that they're on file. Your industry, classification, chapter, again, all of those are managed at the regional side. If you need to get those changed, just talk to your director consultant or your regional admin. Now we get into the part where we can actually do some serious editing. The first of this is the My Business description. Now the way I think about the My Business description is this is your kind of like your elevator pitch. So if you are maybe at your chapter meeting, and during the open networking portion of your chapter meeting, let's say that a guest comes in, or a visitor, somebody that you haven't met before, and they come up to you and they shake your hand and say, oh, so what do you do? How would you describe what it is that you do to a complete and total stranger, somebody that you've never met before? The reason that I think of it this way is that what you don't want to do is to get too in-depth during this part of it. Most people reading a profile on the internet will only read a couple of sentences worth of information before they tune out and move on to something else. So you do want to kind of keep this short and sweet and to the point. So I would say a couple of sentences, maybe a paragraph. Now, the other thing about the My Business is that this is one of the few places where we do allow you to customize it with HTML code, which opens up some additional possibilities for you, such as formatting. You can format things a certain way. You can also embed videos here, and you can see that that's something that I did on my profile as well. So if I go, I'm going to open this in a new tab, and if you'll notice on my profile, there is a video embedded right in my profile that somebody could click on and start playing right from here. Now that's something that you can do. You do have to have it hosted on an external site such as YouTube or Vimeo, and then all you need to do is to grab the embed code and paste it into the profile. Let me show you how you get that real quick. So shoot a video of yourself, maybe introducing yourself or something like that, probably no more than a minute or two. Upload it to a YouTube channel. You can create one for free. Open up the video, and on the video you will see a sharing button and an embed code. So just take this embed code. You can change the dimensions if you'd like to, but you can take this embed code, copy it, and paste it into this My Business description. And that will allow you to format that. And you can see down here, I have my embed code for this. Now, the second place that you want to spend some time is on the keywords. And the keywords are really, how are people going to find you when they don't know your name? Most of the searching that we do in BNI Connect isn't necessarily to search for John Smith or somebody by their name. If we know their name, we probably already know how to get in touch with them. That being said, the keywords will help to really expand your search criteria both on the public websites and on the inside member-only search. Now, when it does a search, and we're using the simple search, it's going to search by industry, it's going to search by classification, it's going to search by your name, it's going to search by your phone number, it's going to search by your address details, things like that. But it will also search against the keywords. So a couple of strategies for using the keywords is to really to boost your industry and classification, so that you can supplement that with other specific things that you do. Now, be careful doing this. You do want to stay within the agreed parameters of what you represent in your chapter, but it's a good way to be more specific than the 1 or 2 words that's available just in that drop-down list. Another thing that you can do with the keywords is you can supplement your location. Now, when somebody looks for example, for me, computers in Rhode Island, it's looking at Rhode Island based on what I have in my address field here in BNI Connect. So if I want to be found in other places, I don't know how much you know about Rhode Island, but it is a tiny state. I mean, really, it's a postage-size stamp of a state, 20 miles wide, 40 miles high. About 1 million people in the entire state. So that means that most small businesses here, we tend to do business in the neighboring states as well, Connecticut and Massachusetts. So what I did was I supplemented my area using the keywords. I added MA for Massachusetts and CT for Connecticut. So that means if somebody's searching for computer repair in Massachusetts or computer repair in Connecticut, then I have a chance of being found within those searches. This works in the opposite as well. I know we have some people on the call from California. I know we have somebody here from Arizona on the call today. Those are really, really big states. People in San Diego, all the way down in the southern part of California, may not be able to effectively do business all the way up in San Francisco, like a 10-hour drive away. But you can supplement this because most people in California are going to be searching based on towns or major cities or counties. So you may want to supplement your area searches using these keywords for places as well. Now, if you change anything on the screen, you do always want to make sure you click this update button, and that will save the details. You'll see saved pop up on the bottom there for about a second. Then you can move on to the next tab. So if I click on the next tab, this is the User Profile tab. Now the User Profile tab is pretty straightforward. Has your username. Username can be really anything you want it to be as long as it is unique in the system, and it can't contain any spaces. Now I do recommend going with something other than your email address. Email addresses do tend to change from time to time, and we do get a lot of people that confuse their username with what their email address might be. But you can change that anytime by clicking on Change Username or click Change Password, and you can update that information. The memorable question and answer is used if you forget your password and you need to log in. So for example, if I go, just opening a new browser here, and I'm going to log in and I get it wrong, I just can't remember what it is, I can click on Forgot Password. I can type in my email address and the CAPTCHA code here. It's then going to look up my information, and it's going to ask me my question. So it will ask me whatever question I have listed here on my profile. Now in order to do this, I do need to get my answer correct, and the answers are case sensitive, they're space sensitive, special character sensitive, so you do have to get that right. And if I answer it correctly, it will take me to the next page, which will allow me to reset my password and type a new one in. So you can also choose your language. One thing about languages especially is that you'll notice here that aside from the 40 or so other languages, there are about a dozen different versions of English. And the reason that there are a lot of versions of English is partially to account for different naming conventions in different countries. For example, we call it vice president here in the United States, but vice president isn't really a term they have in the United Kingdom, for example. They call them membership coordinators. It also affects things like how your dates and times are written on the screen, so make sure that you do have your correct version of English or other language selected. You can also choose your time zone. And then you want to make sure that you're uploading a professional profile image and logo. Now, if you want to change those out or add one, just click on Change Company Logo, for example. I can then browse my computer for another image by clicking the magnifying glass. And here I just need to, let's say I'm going to go and choose a new logo. I think I'm going to go with the white one this time. So I'm going to switch this over to the white logo. I can crop it if I'd like to, otherwise just click Save. And now my logo will be updated. The next tab has all of your contact details on it. Your name, your phone number, your social media addresses, your physical addresses, all sorts of ways to contact you on this page. The most important thing on this page, though, to keep in mind is this top option here. Show me on the BNI public websites. Being shown on BNIAmerica.com, for example, and BNIRI.com, all those public regional, country, and chapter websites, that is optional. By default, you will be shown, but you can opt out of that if you would like to. All you need to do is to uncheck this box, and that will completely hide you from those public websites. So you won't be found when people search, and you won't be displayed in your chapter roster up on those public websites. In addition, if you have a national role, you have the option to be shown there. The rest of this information is pretty straightforward. If you are shown on the public website, you can choose which particular details you would like to show or hide. You can insert all of your different social networking shortcuts. And again, you can choose your address. One thing with the addresses is that if you do have a home office, for example, and you want to show what town you're in and things like that, but you don't necessarily want to show your actual home address, do make sure that your billing address has your correct address in it. That way, if the regional office needs to send you something in the mail, they'll be able to do so. But you could do something like by appointment only as the address line 1, and that would essentially hide your address from the public, but still be able to show your town and your state and your zip code and things like that. The next tab is your account settings, and this mostly has to do with your internal member-to-member settings. And you can see here that those tabs that you're showing on your profile to other members, you can choose whether or not to show them to everybody, just people you're connected to, or to nobody. The rest of the page has to do with notifications. You can choose if you're participating in groups, how often you get notified. And then for things like connection requests and internal messages, would you like those to be forwarded to your regular email? And you can choose that down at the bottom. Of course, if you make any changes, make sure you click Update. The next tab is the Bio tab, and the Bio tab will take you some time to fill out. There's just a lot of typing to do on this particular page, but it has most of the things that we're familiar with on a regular basis. For example, the My Bio. This bio is exactly the same exact bio that your secretary-treasurer may hand out to you before your 10-minute presentation at your chapter. So you could essentially fill it out here and not have to have them chase you before your next presentation. Just keep this updated, and you do want to change it every now and again to make sure that it has the correct information. It will also trigger up on the public websites, because this is information that is shared in the TOPS profile. It will trigger an update in the search results. You can also put in some weekly presentations and a gains profile. The weekly presentations, one of the reasons for this is that, again, it does show on your member-to-member profile. Now, there are 170,000 members in BNI Connect. I can pretty much guarantee that 169,950 of them will never come and visit one of your chapter meetings. However, if you have your weekly presentations filled out on here and one of them comes across your profile, you have the opportunity to essentially stand up and give them a presentation just by using your BNI Connect profile. Now, if you remember back to the My Business description on the first tab of your profile, the weekly presentations also allow you to put HTML code in. So you can actually embed a video of your 60-second presentations here on your profile. The gains, of course, is goals, accomplishments, interests, networks, and skills. By having this filled out, you can do a virtual gains exchange with another member. So before you go to meet with them for a one-to-one, they can check out your profile and you can do that gains exchange right there. And finally, the TOPS profile. Now, the TOPS profile, if you recall, this is the one that shows up on the public websites. So if you are short on time, you only have a couple of minutes to do some stuff, go and do the TOPS profile first. That will help you to get that part done. It will be visible on the public websites, and then if you need to, come back and do the rest of it later. And of course, as always, click on Update if you need to make any changes. Now, if and only if you are a director, you will have a separate director profile. This will only show up on the Contact Us page of the website where you're listed as a director if you are one. And finally, you have the training history. Now, the training history is read-only. You can't edit these directly yourself. However, if you notice that anything's missing or you need something added, just contact your regional office, your executive director, your regional admin, your director consultant for your chapter, and they'll be able to assist you by adding those back into your profile as necessary. And of course, if you've made any changes, always click Update, and the next time you view your profile, it will be updated. Now, you don't need to do any publishing. You don't need to ask your webmaster to refresh the page or anything like that. As soon as you update it here in BNI Connect, it is updated on all of the sites. All right, so we are just at the bottom of the hour. What I'd like to do is for anybody that does need to leave right away, I'd like to say thank you so much for being here. Just a reminder, this is being recorded, and we will also record any additional questions that are coming up. The recording is always made available on the support site, which you can access by clicking the question mark here or go directly to support.bniconnect.com. In addition, you'll see a whole bunch of stuff up on our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/BNI Connect Global. You'll find tons and tons of videos up here, including this webinar will be uploaded there within a couple of days. finally, I would absolutely love it if you gave us a like on Facebook, facebook.com/BNI Connect Global. We do things like webinar announcements and reminders and all sorts of things up here on our Facebook channel as well. So please do give us a like up there. What I'd like to do now is to open this up to any questions. I'd be happy to answer your questions at this point. Just one comment so far from Harold. Harold says, great job. Good luck on your marathon. Thank you so much. I do hope to run a marathon at some point in my life, although I don't think I'm quite trained up for it yet. I'll probably start with a half first. All right, do we have any other questions or comments? I'd be happy to answer or address those now. All right, if there's no additional questions, just a reminder that our very next webinar is going to be the giving and tracking referrals online. So we're going to talk about the online slips. That one's going to be Wednesday, so just a couple of days from now. That'll be at noon Pacific and 3 p.m. Eastern. A good referral for me is to please let your chapter members know about these webinars. Please pass it along to your regions and to your director consultants and anybody else that might be interested in learning a little bit more about BNI Connect, especially those new members in your chapter. Thank you guys so much for being here today, and I look forward to seeing you on a future webinar. Happy connecting, everyone.